The burrowing owl, Dewlap, begins to speak. So let me get this straight. Two owlets just so happened to figure out how to escape being brainwashed by an owl-napping cannibalistic cult and learn to fly out of there when our own spies have come back brainwashed, severely injured, and dead. How do we know these owls aren't brainwashed? And Sylvana's adopted father. How do we know these owls didn't kill him so they could find out where the tree was? Ethelred speaks up. I've seen how brainwashed owls look. I don't think it's too strange to say that owlets with enough determination could escape such a place. Our own members, Bubo and Elvin, had escaped the northern raiders when they were young. And you, Dewlap, of all owls, should know all too well what these owls have gone through. You will not accuse them of murder. Were you not also framed for murdering your father by your own brother? Even if they were spies, we must treat them with kindness and give them a chance to turn their lives around. That is our way. Baron's Keel. Well put, Ethelred. Besides, we've known that a group of owls that escaped Seidages was going to come. The seer said so. Dewlap scoffs. Seer my tail feathers. If she could see so much of the future, then why didn't she see the death of Varia? Boron's Keel. Starsight is very hard to control and requires that you be asleep. It's more useful for future preparations. Strixderma, please go inform Sylvana of the terrible news. Maybe I should go too, Dewlap offers. Baron shakes her head. Oh, but Dewlap, you're needed for the hunt. It's your turn, remember? Bubo and Elvin can go with her. Besides, I know how hard deaths can be for you to talk about. Soren, you and your friends can go now. Otalessa and Martin are outside. They'll explain everything. Thank you for your time. The four owls fly off. The film then cuts to the band being led by a spotted owl named Otalessa and a northern owl named Martin. The spotted owl is chattering away. Anyways, so there's 8 Jaws or squadrons. There's navigation, my personal choice of course, collierying, which involves getting hot coals and embers for the blacksmiths, weather interpretation, which involves going into bad storms and getting weather information for the rest of us. It's a fine enough job, but definitely not for a spotted owl destined to fly with the stars. If you get collierying, you'll be automatically tapped into that, because they will teach you how to fly into fires. Search and rescue for those who like to fight. Of course, it involves saving other owls. Tracking, which goes hand in hand with search and rescue. Basically, you just investigate the scene of a death or disappearance. Research and printing. Essentially, owls go out and record information. Also, this job will teach you to read and write. And finally, there's coholology. You'd essentially be in charge of taking care of the tree. A noble task, but the rib is Dewlap. When you're tapped, you'll be part of a jaw full time. You'll find a specific item in your hollow. Research and printing gets an empty journal. Collierying gets a piece of coal and a dried caterpillar, Weather interpretation gets the dried caterpillar. Blacksmiths get an iron tree. Search and rescue gets a molted feather. Tracking gets a pellet. Goholology gets a milkberry. And navigation gets 10 acorns placed in the shape of the Golden Talons constellation. Martin explains. Otalissa lets out a small dramatic gasp. Martin, I was about to explain that. Sorry, Otalissa. Maybe you can do it next time? I'm really sorry. Relax, I was just teasing you. Anyways, here's your hollow, rest up. You got a tough time ahead of you. Thanks, Soren says. You're welcome. I'm sorry. For what? It's an apology in advance. I know I'm going to screw something up, Martin explains. He and Otalissa fly off. Soren and the others look at each other and go into their hollow. A montage then plays as the owls slowly learn from the ribs, starting with learning to read and write. We'll start with the basic alphabet, as Ulrich announces. Don't worry, this class is over in an hour. Once it's done, we'll get to the fun stuff. Soren and the others go wide-eyed at the long list of letters hanging over them, though Digger and Gylfie seem less intimidated by it. The next scene has the owls in a room with a large display case full of feathers with labels under them. Savannah, a burrowing owl of about Digger's age, stands in front of her class with a sad smile on her face. I'm the new tracking rib, Savannah. Today we're going to look at feathers and discuss the differences. I know it seems daunting, but here's a fun game we'll play that'll help you memorize the different feathers. But first, let's see who knows the most of these feathers. Whoever guesses the most gets a small bag of milkberries you can munch on during the next class. Digger raises a talon. Ah, the new student. You're Digger, right? Well, go ahead and guess as many as you can. Well, I know off the top of my head that the grayish feathers with bars on them are great gray primary feathers. The small feathers that are sort of a blackish gray with the lighter gray lines going from the edge and towards the middle are elf owl feathers, and scene changes to the owls in front of a large star map. Digger is sharing his milkberries with the class. And that one, the one that looks like it's doing a pirouette, that's the dancing raccoon, or the big raccoon. The Golden Talons, which is the one that looks like an owl with giant battle claws, always points north, while the great crow points south, Otalissa interrupts. Right, both are separated by the eye of Glocks, the giant eye that has one star in the center, Gylfie explains proudly. Stockstroma smiles. Very good, Gylfie, Otalissa. A good way to remember where each constellation points is by remembering the story behind them. Let's start with the tail of the whale's fin. The scene changes to outside. The owls are flying in front of several owl poppins, dolls, and small crumpled pieces of paper. Baron begins. This is a basic course that all owls will need to go through. At some point, you'll all have to save an owl, and yes, fight. Those that are tapped for this jaw will be the first ones called for an emergency. Boron continues. You'll each be split into a team of 2 owls. Each team will drop off an owl poppin and/or an egg into their nest. Whoever has the most by the time the sand in the hourglass runs out wins. Class sizes have been split, so there won't be an owl left out. Be aware that though this is a competition, you all have the same goal. This is merely meant to judge how fast you can act under stress. Small owls get the eggs, large owls get the owl poppins. Split off into your teams. I'm gonna pair off with Ruby, Soren announces. Primrose, wanna be on my team? Twilight asks. I guess. It's gonna be fine, Prim. You've gotten a lot stronger since we met. Just focus on carrying the eggs and you'll do great. Primrose nods and follows Twilight to the starting line. The hourglass is flipped over, prompting the owls to fly to the nest. As Primrose flies in, talon first, the scene changes to show the owls digging small holes and placing pellets into said holes. Dewlap is lecturing them. Hurry along now. The great tree is constantly receiving new inhabitants, so we need to work overtime getting the tree nutrients. Actually, Dewlap, my great-granddad wrote an interesting book that said that the pellets are... Oh, Talissa, Dewlap interrupts. All that time yapping about theories is better spent giving the tree some extra life. Now, get to digging, or you'll have to do another 20 pellets on your own. Otalissa flinches. Yes, ma'am. Otalissa looks down with a sad expression on her face. The scene then changes to the owls flying in a thunderstorm. Feel the wind in your wings. Feel how it moves all about you, as Horib exclaims. Martin is struggling. Having a little trouble, sir. Don't fight the current, Martin, as Horib calls out. Shape it. Use it to your advantage. Boo-boo's cue. Ethelrib, a puffin just came in with news from a nearby seagull. There's a small fire up ahead. I see. Guess what, everyone? We're going to have 3 jaws in 1 class and end early tonight. Pair up with the jaw buddy. Elvin, Boo-boo, take point. Soren, you can watch me if you want. It is your first time. Ethelrib, is this really safe? Elvin whispers. They're going to have to do this eventually. Might as well learn now. Besides, we and our more experienced owls will deal with the heavy lifting. I just want them to see how it's done. Hazelrip whispers back. You can spot me, Ruby. Remember not to look directly at the fire. You'll get hypnotized by it and go eep. Odalissa says. The fire is seen dead ahead. Several owls are already gathering coal.